Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is a special edition of Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we welcome to the program today, and this is Marlene Lockard with Capital Strategies, co-hosting with me, Alan Feldman, Senior Vice President for Public Affairs from MGM Mirage. Welcome to the program, Alan. Good to have you back again.
It's good to be here again, Sam. Thank you.
Lots to talk about today. Let's dive right into it. Let's start and talk about how MGM Mirage feels about the property tax debate.
Well, obviously, this is one of the most significant debates that we face in our state and in all of our communities across the state. And it's one that really requires a lot of very level-headed, sensible discussion and debate. Fortunately, there are a lot of proposals out there. There's been a lot of discussion about it. At the end of the day, what we have to do is find something that's appropriate and balanced, that doesn't throw our economy out of kilter in any way. It protects those who need the protection, especially senior citizens on fixed incomes, but also protects the working men and women of this state from these ever-increasing, almost spiraling property taxes.
Well, and your
so
property
somewhere
tax...
out there, there's a balance to be found, and the debate's just getting underway.
MGM Mirage is a huge property taxpayer themselves. Do you have a favored solution at this point?
No, I wouldn't say that we do, Sam. I think it's a little too early in the game. Obviously, there are several proposals that are out there already. I suspect there will be more to come. There will probably be some modifications to some of the proposals. We're certainly watching this debate very carefully, and as I say, most concerned about trying to strike an appropriate balance between providing for the needs of the state, but also protecting our citizens from these spiraling taxes.
Now, with the completion of the merger, Alan, I was curious, what do you think is the future of the NRA?
Well, first off, just to be clear, the merger isn't quite complete yet. Nevada has given its approval, but we still have some regulatory issues in Illinois and Michigan to go through. As far as the NRA is concerned, obviously they've had a reduction in membership. Our own company has pulled out. Others are not members. The NRA still serves its membership, even though those numbers may be smaller. I just don't think that the gaming industry really has, nor do I ever think it has had in recent years, a singular voice. There are just too many issues on which there are too many different points of view. But the NRA is still an important voice, and one that we assume will continue as we are, of course, engaging in our own efforts to communicate with legislators. And we would encourage anyone, any business, to get into this, to get into the community process of discussing and debating the major issues of the day.
Well, one of the major issues of the day is the bank tax, and a lot of folks think that bank tax should be revisited. Do you support a rollback of the bank tax?
Absolutely not. As it stands, Sam, there is a great disparity in our state between businesses who participate and provide for the needs of our citizenry and businesses that don't. We went through a very, very challenging and difficult process last year to try and bring the banking industry into the fold so that they are contributing to the needs of our citizens. The banking industry in Nevada, I don't know if a lot of folks realize this, the banking industry in Nevada makes as much money in Nevada as does the gaming industry. And yet our industry, as you know, is paying an enormous part of of the tax burden in the state, far in excess of the amount that we contribute to the state's economy. So to see anyone come into the fold is a good thing. Now trying to roll it back because we're having this temporary spike in revenues would be a huge mistake.
Just a quick follow-up on that. One of the things that has been said in support of rolling back the bank tax is that it's unfair to these individual branches or banks that only have one branch that have very small deposits, and they get hit with that $7,500 a year fee for that branch. Any weight to that?
I don't know that that's any different than across the state, where we have individual casinos who pay the same tax rates as those of us who have bigger companies. And in many cases, those are privately owned casinos in very small markets who are doing their job and providing jobs and benefits for workers in those markets. We're talking about some very small towns throughout the state. So I think everyone should be treated equally, and that was something that was very carefully negotiated with representatives of the banking industry in the last legislature.
Okay, Alan, we're going to take a break here. We'll be right back with more with Alan Feldman from MGM Mirage, soon to be the world's largest gaming company, at least for a few minutes. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Here at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks, we are constructing a 16-mile expressway connecting I-80 to Highway 50. This expressway provides direct access and will make it much easier to get to work. A direct route for employment opportunities. From 100% fiber optics to clean, reliable power. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we continue our conversation with Alan Feldman, who's the Senior Vice President for Public Affairs for MGM Mirage.
Alan, gaming has had a seat on the Las Vegas Convention Authority Board, and it's my understanding now that MGM Mirage is seeking their own seat. Is this just the beginning of what will be some exercising of some muscle?
Well, I don't know if it's really exercising a muscle as much as it is a realization that the circumstances have changed in terms of how we look at the various groups that comprise the LVCVA. The law that was done was to set that up was written decades ago when the industry looked entirely different than it does today. We're now the largest contributor of gaming tax here in the Las Vegas area, which means we're the largest contributor to the LVCVA, but don't currently have representation. I think we need to take a look at how things have changed and maybe take a look at whether or not the mechanism by which those seats are distributed should be changed as well.
Alan, does that mean that Harrah's should get a seat as well?
Well, I suspect they probably should. They're also a very large contributor to the tax base in our county and with the LVCVA. So that's probably another thing to take a look at. However this comes down, I mean, the fundamental idea here remains to have a very healthy representation from elected officials and then a representation from the business community. And it's a matter of how we define the business community. Years ago, the business community was the Chamber of Commerce and the NRA. I'm not so certain that they're as reflective of the larger gaming industry here in Clark County as they once were.
Let's go back to the legislature for a moment, if we can. Do you think the entertainment tax, which has not been working as well as was hoped, should be brought back to the table?
Well, I think it should, but only on a technical basis. I think we ought to take a look at what the legislature was trying to accomplish and understand what isn't working, rather than trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, the intent there was to bring in more folks into paying this tax, and through a variety of loopholes and language issues, they seem to have escaped it. And all that's happened is those of us who were the largest payers of the tax to begin with continue today to be the largest payers of the tax, with very few others added into the group. So I think we've got to go back and understand what the intent of that change was in the last legislature and make certain that we're actually getting those people in.
Okay, so who wasn't in that should be in your opinion?
Well, I think it seemed, at least in Southern Nevada terms, it seemed to relate an awful lot to some of the gentlemen's clubs that are down here that are seeing enormous revenues that they are deriving from tourism but they're not really participating in paying for any of the infrastructure that goes with that. So that would be one of those areas. Like by and large, the rest of the groups that we're paying it here are paying it, but those are some of the things that they need to take a look at. Again, I want to stress, this is not a circumstance of trying to roll that back or rewrite it as much as it is to tighten it up and make certain that it's very clear.
The Gentlemen's Club issue certainly makes a lot of sense.
Alan, yesterday the Assembly passed the minimum wage tax. How do you feel about, do you support the minimum wage increase?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's long overdue. There are very few people in the gaming industry who are only paying minimum wage. It has long ago passed us. Competition for labor in this market is pretty extraordinary, and in between wages and benefits, we've long ago eclipsed minimum wage. But let's face it, if you have a family, even if you don't have a family, trying to live on $5 and change an hour is just not feasible. And we should be providing a stable work environment throughout the community, not just in the gaming industry, but throughout the community, so that we have a decent quality of life for our citizenry.
Alan, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Alan Feldman from MGM Mirage on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Sunbelt Communication.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Alan Feldman, Senior Vice President of Public Affairs with MGM Mirage.
Alan, there's already lots of changes going on. You're going to change the presidents at all the properties. How is this going to affect Circus and the Las Vegas properties and those up here in Reno?
Well, again, just to be clear, we may not change the presidents at all of the properties, but we will, after the merger is completed, announce those changes that will occur. In several cases, we expect that the people who are there will stay. In terms of the future, we're very bullish on Reno. We think that there is room for growth in the Reno market if it's carefully managed and supported with the right levels of investment. And that's something that we intend to do going forward. It's going to take us a little while to integrate these companies. Usually, you're looking at anywhere from 12 to 18 months just to begin to integrate systems, be able to communicate with one another. There are some, as you might imagine, rather significant technological issues that we need to overcome, email systems, phone systems, things of that nature. But the first objective is to make certain that the employees at all of the existing Mandalay properties know that they are a valued and welcome part of the MGM Mirage family. We expect that there's going to be very little disruption to their daily lives. Not suggesting that there won't be change at all. I don't want to go that way, but I also think that we should relish the opportunity for change and relish the opportunity it gives us to kind of stretch our arms and flex our minds a little bit about things that we've been doing and things that we might choose to do going forward.
You know,
but in terms of fundamental employment, they really shouldn't be worried about that. We really gained two asset bases when we went after Mandalay Bay. One was the assets of the properties, but the other, and equally significant, maybe in some cases more significant, was the major asset base of the staff at all of these properties, who've just done an absolutely outstanding job for the shareholders of Mandalay Bay Resort Group, and frankly for the citizens of Nevada through all of these decades.
Alan, you're sending a very strong signal, it appears right now, that all the rumors of sale of Circus in Las Vegas and Circus in Reno and half of the Silver Legacy is not going ahead. You plan to keep them?
We made a very significant effort. We spent a lot of time with lawyers arguing with the FTC about the whole issue of not being forced to divest of anything. Now, we are a public company, and we have to be realistic that should down the road someone come along and make us an offer that's appropriate for our shareholders, we'd have to give it due consideration. But our intent is to run every single one of the assets within the Mandalay family as part of the MGM Mirage family, and to identify the strategic opportunities in each of them. And that includes the properties in Laughlin, in Reno, in Jean, Nevada, as well as elsewhere around the country.
Let's change continents here. MGM Mirage is now partnered with a company run by Pansy Ho, daughter of Stanley Ho, who was the casino magnate in Macau. What steps is MGM Mirage taking to ensure that there are no problems with the criminal element in Macau as part of this venture?
Well, I think that that's been something of concern to all of the operators who are there. Las Vegas Sands Inc., Sheldon Adelson, who operates currently in Macau, Steve Wynn, who's in the process of building, hasn't opened yet. And for our company, we've all heard stories and have seen evidence of criminal issues in Macau's past. But we faced those same issues in Nevada at one time as well. And we've gone through the process here in Nevada of transforming this industry into one that is of the utmost regulatory integrity, has great respect for government regulators and for the oversight that's involved. And Macau is going through that exact same transformation. There's not a one of us, not Sheldon, not Mr. Wynn, not our company, who would want to put our licenses or our reputations at risk, and we're not going to do anything that would ever put the greater company at risk. So we've been very careful, we've been very deliberative about the process in Macau, and we are absolutely confident with the assurances of the central government in China and of the local government, the SAR government in Macau. They are absolutely committed to running the industry in a proper and modern way, and we're certain that they will.
Alan, we're out of time. We appreciate you being here. We welcome you back anytime. Alan Feldman with MGM Mirage. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
It really was a matter of confusion, and I also had the stress on my wife was considerable too, as she ran around talking to the right people and trying to track down resources that would improve my health and make me independent again.
One-stop access for caregivers, NevadaCareConnection.org.
If it's hot, it's here at the Pepper Mill. The Pepper Mill has over 500 of the hottest video theme slots. And with the $100,000 Winter Video Theme Slot Fest, there's no smarter time to play these winning machines. Win your share of the money with $2,000 random cash giveaways every Monday and $5,000 drawings every Friday. And new players can get up to $100 free play.
The slots that rock are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you winning?
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And on the Power Pundit panel today, joining Marlene and I, Martha Gould, Washoe County Democrat, and Daryl Capurro, who's the Managing Director of the Nevada Motor Transport Association. Welcome to all of you. I want to follow up on some of the things discussed with Alan Feldman from MGM Mirage. What did you think about his thoughts, Daryl, on the bank tax?
Well, I completely disagree with Mr. Feldman about the enactment of the tax on financial institutions, which was different than it was for every other business in the state of Nevada as far as the payroll tax was concerned. I didn't see a shred of evidence that there should have been a difference in that tax, and I think it's particularly unfortunate that there was the, I believe it's $7,000 per bank branch that is involved. I think it really hurts the small communities of this state, and I don't know why there should be any difference in the business community as far as the banks are concerned, that they would pay a higher payroll tax and a franchise tax to boot. That's something I hope the legislature addresses this time.
I think that what concerns me is not so much whether it's fair or unfair at this point, but I don't want to see the legislature taking a Band-Aid approach to looking at the entire tax structure of the state of Nevada, because it's more than just whether the bank tax was fair or unfair or what's happening with property taxes. Again, it goes back to the basic of we don't have decent tax policy. And you can't take, you know, we'll address this or we'll address that. You have to have a global view of a tax structure in this state that's going to be fair and equitable. And I don't see the legislature at this point beginning to move in that direction.
Daryl, don't you think, though, that the gaming industry itself is singled out for a different tax? They're taxed like no other business in the state. They're taxed on gross receipts.
That happens to be a tax that they agreed to back in, what, the 1930s when they became legal. And just because the gaming industry, which has a much higher return on their investment than most small businesses do, just because their taxation method that they adopted back in those years is, you know, is subject only to them, doesn't mean that that same tax structure would work for every other business in the state of Nevada.
I was delighted to hear him bring up the entertainment tax vis-a-vis the gentlemen's clubs. I mean, these places cost anywhere up to $30 million to build. They're not building them because they're not making money. They're making tons of money. In fact, they have an excess, apparently, in some cases, to help with the pockets of certain officials, or former officials, shall we say. So I'm delighted to see that come in. Would you agree?
I would agree that the entertainment tax clearly did not work as far as the legislature intended it to work. And that needs some real review as to how to either make it work or eliminate it. But in the long run, obviously, people have moved into what they consider to be a void as far as the application of that tax, and they're taking advantage of it. So that, yes, there needs to be a strong review and a more inclusive tax if they're going to keep it.
It sounded, excuse me, Martha, that he was very bullish on northern Nevada and indicated that there could be a huge investment to pump up the properties here in northern Nevada. Do you view that as the good news?
Talk is cheap. I would wait to see the action. I'm not sure that the large gaming entities out of Clark County really give a hoot about what happens.
You know, actually, I would disagree with you, Martha. Blake Sartini bought the Boyd property down at Mount Rose. Rumor has it that he plans to go ahead independently and put in a $100 million resort there. If that is true, then that will be a significant investment from southern Nevada into northern Nevada. The Farahi family plans another hotel casino.
The Farahi family is a local family. They have an investment in this community. I am not sure that the large entities out of Clark County have that kind
well,
of
Mr. Sartini
interest
was
or
associated for a long time with Stations Casino. He was the largest shareholder of Stations Casino.
That's right.
Well, Station Casino also happens to be the one that is operating Indian gaming in California. And I happen to agree with Martha with respect to this. It seems like it's been more convenient to invest in other areas outside of Nevada. And primarily, in our case, affecting the Reno area is on the Interstate 80 corridor with Indian gaming in California. I think the local properties that have been run by local families, the Esquagas, the Farahis, and those that are local people are better run. Their properties look better, they're managed better, and I'm not sure how much of an effort that corporate gaming is making to bring tourism into the Reno area.
Well, we are going to see a multi-billion-dollar investment of MGM Mirage on the Strip there, on the old boardwalk property. That's going to be a mega city sitting right there. So, I mean, one has to say that MGM is certainly reinvesting in the Silver State as well.
In Clark County.
In Clark County,
Clark County,
but you guys are right. It remains to be seen. But I think he sent a very strong message here that they are looking at Northern Nevada and see some potential.
I'd love to see it. I'll see it when
I will rephrase what I said. Talk is cheap. I'm waiting to see action.
All right. Well, we will see whether there's a check written in the next hour. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Here at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks, we are constructing a 16-mile expressway connecting I-80 to Highway 50. This expressway provides direct access and will make it much easier to get to work. A direct route for employment opportunities. From 100% fiber optics to clean, reliable power. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
And coming up tomorrow?
We're going to have a debate over various tax studies and their recommendations by Robert Schmidt and Guy Hobbs, followed with Jeffersonian Clay Jenkins.
This will be a great show. Join us tomorrow. And always, we love to get your emails at newsmakers@kvbc.com and newsmakers@krnv.com. We'll see you. Thank you, Nick.